you're gonna break into. Crazy love, you got me worried. I don't know why you make me blue. Every time I call your telephone line, I gotta stop and hang up on you.
Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. Across the web, on Fight Now TV, and on radio stations around the world. It's the only daily boxing talk radio show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. studio in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero. It's time for Talking Boxing with Billy C. Good morning, good day, good evening. Whenever you listen, hope you're doing all right. Don't forget the show's being brought to you in part by Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service. If you're looking for a limo and a really hot driver, give my girl Kat a call, 202-351-7496 is how you can get a hold of her if you're not in the United States or even Canada. You got to give Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service a call, 202-351-7496. Tell her Billy C. sent you. But just remember, when you're drooling all over her, she's my girl. The show is also being brought to you in part by Camp Aaron Tomkovich. If you're looking for a lawyer, use the ones that keep my ass out of trouble. That is Camp Aaron Tomkovich, 845-221-4099. Let Camp Aaron Tomkovich knock out your legal problem. 845-221-4099 is how you get a hold of Camp Aaron Tomkovich. Show is also being brought to you in part by my friends down at the Halftime Bar and Grill, Route 9, South Glens Falls. Check it out. If you like places that have great food, cool people, drink specials, and live entertainment, well, go no further than the Halftime Bar and Grill, Route 9, South Glens Falls. Hey, whether you're living in the area or whether you're coming up for a vacation in the beautiful Adirondacks, stop by the Halftime, 518-792-4869. That's 518-792-4869, Halftime Bar and Grill. And don't forget, if you like your hot wings with some extra hot sauce, make sure you try the Billy C. hot sauce. That's right. We have our own hot sauce at the Halftime. Just got to make sure Craig makes it because he's the only one that has the recipe. 518-792-4869, Halftime Bar and Grill. And the show is also being brought to you in part by Ringside. That's right, the best in boxing. Check them out, ringside.com, for all of your boxing needs. Tell them Billy C sent you for the discount, ringside.com. Busy show schedule for today. I got some sad news. Sad for at least us, because we wanted to bring you the event. But unfortunately, the Battle of Whitehall, which was scheduled for Friday, has been canceled. That's right. The promoter was forced to pull the plug on Chevelle Halbach and Victoria Cisneros as they got ready to do battle. And it's a shame. It was a really good card. And it boils down to one thing, the New York State Athletic Commission. That's right. You know, if people think that the government can control, if people think the government should control boxing, look no further than the state of New York, because that is what you end up with when a government runs a commission. And that's what I'm talking about. You end up getting appointed people who go on these power trips. And, the bottom line is they don't look out for the good of the sport and the participants. Remember something, when in this particular case, the New York State Athletic Commission just thinks who they are. And, these guys, they're out playing golf, making decisions about a show. And the funny thing about it is, it's not funny, but the worst thing about it is, you got fighters that are in limbo, right? They work jobs. They are training part-time, and they're putting every ounce of effort that they can to balance, their life, with their families, especially young people with their families and everything else, and keep in boxing. And then to have a commission because, they're out playing golf, or, they didn't look at their fax machine, or they claim they didn't receive a piece of paper or something like that, to just pull the plug. They feel all tough and badass because that's what they like. That's what they get hard-ons for. Guys like the New York State Athletic Commission, the bald-headed prick that's there. He doesn't know boxing. He really doesn't. I don't know what his background is aside from being a bar guy. He owns a bar. But aside from that. I mean, the six-figure salaries they make, they're appointed by other government people, It's a shame, and that's what we would get with a government-run commission, the same type of thing. You'd have non-boxing people making decisions and affecting the careers of young fighters and old fighters, and also the promoter. In this case, a guy who had invested thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into the event, only to have it canceled on him, within 5 days. So it's a shame. But anyway, no war in Whitehall this Friday, and you can thank the New York State Athletic Commission for that one. And people wonder why New York State has the balls to say that they're the mecca of boxing. At least Madison Square Garden. I say that's a joke. That's a joke. If they want to learn something about integrity, they should check out the Georgia State Athletic Commission and a commissioner who tries to promote the sport and help, rather than hurt the sport. So, like we do every day, we read some emails from the mailbag. And the first one I got is from my man, Frog from the other side of the pond. He says, Billy, this is an update for you. Frampton versus Kiko Martinez is off because Kiko pulled out. He's being replaced by Steve Molitor. Yeah, actually, we talked about this yesterday. I didn't mention it on the show, but we were talking about it in the chat room because Murphy corrected me on that one. So thanks, Frog. And, I appreciate that. He also says, hey, when you have Tyson Fury on, ask him what meant more to him, winning the Irish or the British belts. I'll try to remember, man. Tyson Fury will be coming on in a little bit. Don't forget about our forum. It's alive and well. We had some issues with it there for a little while, and I want you to come back. Come back to the forum. Check it out. Post something. reply to something. Just get back, visit the forum, and don't forget about the Billy C Challenge. Yeah, we got that back up and running, giving prizes away. We will have a winner for August, so we have this week and next week to get your percentages up. And don't worry, I don't win. So even though I got 100%, I'm not going to win. So the way you need to do it right now is email me, Billy@talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing.com with your picks. I will put the plays out most likely either tomorrow or Thursday, and you guys will know who we're going to be picking, and you can email me your picks, and eventually the program, the online program, will be working. There's a couple of errors in it right now. And that's why, if you want to go up there and register and get your name, put your email up there, that might be a smart thing to do, because there is a feature on the new program that will email you all the fights. So make sure you do that. Hey, make sure you mark down your calendar September 8th and September 15th. We're going to be doing post-fight shows. The first post-fight show will be after the Chad Dawson, Andre Ward fight. September 8th. There's also some other good fights going on September 8th that we'll be chatting about. And then the following week, from Las Vegas, we're going to be doing a post-fight show immediately following the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Sergio Martinez fight. And that's going to be taking place September 15th, but we'll be doing it live out of the beautiful new Fight Now studio in Las Vegas. J-Man says, with all this talk about B-Hop, I've been watching footage, and I'm wondering, why aren't there many fighters like Hopkins, many of them when they lose, once that's the end for them, like Jermaine Taylor, who everybody was high on. There are many fighters who disappoint us, because when you see them at first, you swear they will be the best, like Johan Guzman, and he had the potential and expectations and did not live up to them, where Hopkins, who spent half his childhood in prison. No, he didn't. He only did 6 years. Come on, man. Well, I guess that's a true statement, half his childhood, but he was already an adult. But anyway, the real one is not where Floyd vacated. Yeah, right. He was in prison. You're right about that. We got to give B-Hop credit for that. He did prison time, not a country club. He said he had no amateur background and lost his debut against Roy. He lost his debut also against Roy Jones. Has exceeded all the expectations and went to the enemy's home turf against Pascal to bring one of the few linear championships back to the United States. I thought Marquez was the most underappreciated fighter because of the robberies, but I'm wrong. He obviously is thinking now that Bernard Hopkins is underappreciated. I don't know what to tell you. I think that Bernard Hopkins, his older career is better than his younger career. I think he did surprise people, and when you thought it was over for Bernard, he came back with a good performance. Everybody talks about that, the Jean Pascal fights and the Kelly Pavlik fights, and I mean, those are the ones that stick out in your mind. The Jermaine Taylor fights, I thought that B-Hop won. I thought he won those fights. But nonetheless, we'll have to wait and see where it goes for him. He's like some of those other guys, like we were talking about yesterday. He keeps lingering on.
If you're in upstate New York and you need a trucking company, then you need Rosselli Enterprises. Rosselli Enterprises is trucking at its finest. They have it all. Dump trucks, dump trailers, walk-in floors, flatbeds, flow boys, tankers, loaders, and a full line of roll-off containers for any job, big or small. Rosselli Enterprises is also the source for all your sand, gravel, and topsoil needs. Visit them on the web at RosselliTrucking.com or call 315-433-5115. That's 315-433-5115 and tell them Billy C sent you.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, All the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
We've got a great matchup tonight. Fighting out of the left corner is the #1 ranked contender.
No, he is not.
I'm sorry, but who are you?
I am the IBO computer. I am programmed to provide only fair and unbiased boxing rankings. This fighter is the number 15 ranked contender.
Fair and unbiased boxing rankings? That's a new concept.
Actually, it is not. The IBO has provided unbiased computerized rankings for many years.
Well, we've still got a great fight tonight, folks. In the left corner is the number 15 ranked contender.
The IBO, the champion of integrity. Learn more at iboboxing.com.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you. I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning.
As a young boy, all Billy C. dreamed about was one day having his own catchphrase.
And we're back. And we're back.
One boy, one dream, one day, everyone will say.
And we're back. 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 And we're back.
Catchphrase, coming soon to a theater near you.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C. Show. Glad you could join us. Hey, if you missed it, if you're tuning in a little late, the big event up at the Whitehall Athletic Club for Friday, Chevelle Fist of Steel Halbach against Victoria Cisneros for the World Junior Welterweight title, has been canceled. That's right. Been canceled, postponed, canceled, whatever. It's not happening. So for everybody that was on their way up, we had a lot of people, a lot of bus trips coming from all over wanting to see that card. It's been canceled. So don't forget about the Talking New York Sports. That's right, with Billy C. and Brooklyn Mike. And we do that on Saturdays from 8 to 10 right here on BillyCBoxing.com. So make sure you check that out. And if you miss it live, and you should tune in live so you can get into the chat room and be part of the show and all that happy stuff. But if you do miss it live, no problem, because it's up under the Talking New York Sports section on the website. So check that out. Hey, while you're checking out the website, which you should be, it should be set as your homepage. We're adding some new shows, man. We got some shows up there now, aside from ours. We got the replays of our shows up there, the Talking Boxing with Billy C. show and the Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down. We also are adding some other quality shows. So when you get some time, check them out and let us know what you think. Actually, we're getting a lot of requests lately. So we're evaluating different shows, and, we're sticklers on quality. So if the quality is there, you'll see it on the BillyCBoxing.com network. So we're excited about that. Ever expanding. So we'll have those shows, and I think we're going to start having them as early as next week. So make sure you check that out. Now, there are some shows up there now, and we will be removing any show that's not been consistent. We want content that changes on a regular basis. So if you see some shows up there and you've played them, and you're not happy with the lack, or if you're not happy with the consistency of the show, or because there is a lack of consistency, don't worry. They're not going to be there no more. And while you're at it, check out the links page, because we support everybody on the links, so check it out. Anyway, more mail from the mail bag. Yusef 1818 says, that's horrible that we got no Olympic medals this year. Well, thanks for the email, Yusef, but we did get 2. Our team got 2. Everybody's talking about the men, but our team did bring home 2. and we need to count them as part of the team. And of course, I'm talking about our gold winner, Clarissa Shields, and we also won a bronze too. But I mean, we got to count that. You know, you got to count it, and as critical as I've been over on Teddy Atlas over the years, especially this past year and a half or so. He's the guy, man. He's the guy that should be running our amateur program in the United States. So I'm going to start a campaign to get him voted in or something. I don't know. Given Quality, my man Given Quality says, he says, send me press passes and credentials only. I don't want any Floyd Mayweather pajamas. You don't want a pair of Floyd Mayweather feety pajamas? Come on, Given Quality. He said that a bunch of times. He don't like it when I fool around like that with him. You know, if I say he's got his Floyd Mayweather underwear or his Floyd Mayweather jammies with the feeties, you know, or if he's got the Floyd Mayweather posters all over his bedroom. He don't want to hear that. He don't like that. You know, if you tell him Floyd Mayweather's the best ever, he likes that. Given Quality like that. But, you know, feety pajamas? No, man. No feety pajamas for me. Ew. I bet you there's some photos of Given Quality when he was little in some feety pajamas. Come on, man. Don't tell me your mom didn't dress you up in feety pajamas, make you pose, especially for Christmas. Come on. You didn't have that stupid pajamas that you had to wear on Christmas. You know, like they did in that, what's that Christmas special every year? You see it 24 hours a day when a kid wants the BB gun, whatever it's called, which I love. I watch it all the time, too, you know, and they really do that. Remember the kid, here, your aunt sent you, do I have to put it on? It's like some kind of stupid rabbit. You know, if you ever saw that James Stewart movie where he's a drunk and he keeps seeing, he's got his full-size rabbit that he keeps seeing that no one else sees. That's what those jammies look like. But anyway, if you never saw that movie, it's a classic, man. It's a classic. He's walking around, he's a drunk, and James Stewart, right? And there's a guy dressed in a lame rabbit suit. I mean lame, like these pajamas, all right? Except that, you know, he's got a full mask. You don't see any human face. And it's just an old rabbit suit. And only James Stewart sees him. But anyway. My man Sam from England says, hope you're doing good, man. He says, I just wanted to ask you something you might have already done, but can you talk about Alfredo Angulo? He was in prison for a while. Now he's going to fight again before the end of the year. And he's a cracker, man. He's a cracker, man. Actually, he's not. I don't think I don't even think I'm a cracker. I mean, you can't call me a cracker. You know, I'm not white. You know, and he's Hispanic. That's not considered white, is it? I don't know. But anyway, Sam says, also, can we stop saying that Andre Ward is a great inside fighter? Because I've heard in a few places that he is one hell of an inside fighter when all he does is clinch and hold. I hope Cortez stays at home September 8th. It'll be a great fight. I never called him an inside fighter, did I? Did I ever say he was an inside fighter? I don't recall that, Sammy. But if I did, I think he's a well-rounded fighter. You got to give Andre Ward credit. I mean, he's a well-rounded fighter. You know, this is a guy that can do it all. But some fighters that don't feel comfortable fighting inside do exactly that. They hold, they push away, and they regroup. You know, the style, the infighting. I don't want to say style, but the in style form of fighting has really fallen off the face of the earth, and I think a lot of that has to do with the referees, man. The referees don't let the guys fight inside. So, Hawk says, "Yep, Holyfield and Tony are both delusional." That's because the title of the show yesterday was Evander Holyfield is delusional. You know, these titles they come up with sometimes are pretty cool, and that one is definitely a true one. He says they both seem punchy too. Maybe they should fight each other. They both need the money, I guess. You know, it's funny you say that, Hawk, because, you know, I hate to admit it, but I was thinking that exact same thing when we were talking about it yesterday. I'm like, should I even suggest that? You know, the reason why I didn't is because I don't want Evander Holyfield to fight anymore. You know, James Toney is just a big mouth, and that's how he gets himself into fights. But Evander Holyfield really, see, now I think James Toney thinks that he just needs the money, and he tries to survive. I don't think he really believes he's going to win. I think somewhere along the lines in the fight itself, if James Toney is doing well, he goes for the win. But Evander Holyfield thinks that he's okay, that he's still world championship caliber. And it's sad. It's sad because that's why he is delusional. You know, this is a man that swears that not only is he going to get another chance, but he's going to win it. You know, so I don't know. I will tell you this. The last big fight that he was in, well, I was at the last big fight he was in, but when he fought Nikolai Valuev, I thought he won that fight. I hate to say it. I thought he won. I thought he won that fight. So, anyway, you know. Hawk goes on to say, actually, I'm not saying or accusing. Now, this is him, a follow-up statement, because I read an email yesterday, and it sounded like he was accusing Bernard Hopkins of taking performance-enhancing drugs. He says, I'm not saying or accusing B-Hop of taking PEDs. He said he never tested positive for anything, and in the U.S., a man should be deemed innocent until proven guilty. Let me stop right there. That's the way it used to be in this country. You were innocent until proven guilty. Now it's a totally different situation. You know, think about it. You know, if I come out and say, hey, Hawk, I just saw Hawk rob the bank over here, and, you know, I'm telling you, it was Hawk, man. He robbed the bank over here. You know, he shot that guy, and, you know, oops, the guy died. He shot and killed that guy, and he robbed the bank. It was Hawk. And guess what they do now? They come and arrest Hawk. And now Hawk's got to prove that he didn't do it. You know, back in the day, you couldn't say that. I couldn't say Hawk did it. You know, they would have to interview me, and they would have to, you know, collect data and evidence, and then accuse Hawk of doing it. Nowadays, it's a lot different, man. It's a lot different. You know, you get all these accusations, and then people are on the defense trying to prove that they're not guilty. And if we still followed the innocent until proven guilty line, they wouldn't be put on the stand until it was pretty much, you know, foregone conclusion that they had enough evidence and everything else. So, yeah, I think it used to be like that. I'm not sure how much it still is, but anyway, he says he goes on to say, I hear 100s of the people. I hear 100% of the people running around saying Pac is on steroids, so in their eyes, Pac is guilty with no proof. I agree. He says, my point was that I believe a 45-year-old athlete is more likely to need performance-enhancing drugs to perform at the top level than a 30-year-old prime athlete. And testosterone drops with age, and many UFC fighters are on performance-enhancing drugs. All of that's true. All of that's true. You know, I think people might assume that, you know, a guy like Bernard Hopkins, maybe people do think he's on steroids. I never thought of it, not once. Not once, you know. As far as Manny Pacquiao, I believe in the old you're innocent until proven guilty. That's why I don't believe it. And the whole rumors about him on steroids anyway started with Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's the one that brought it out there. And then you heard comments like, but he's got muscles on his eyelids. How do you get muscles on your eyelids? Have you seen pictures of him? Hey, by the way, speaking of pictures, go look at the picture of Manny Pacquiao on the front of BillyCBoxing.com and try and guess how long ago that picture was taken.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
Broadcasting in all corners of the globe, on the web and radio.
He would scoff at a stretch of that man, I would think.
Palla tagliata, messa fuori, c'è
You're listening to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. from upstate New York in the good old US of A.
Boxing is here to stay because we are here to stay.
The best 2 hours of boxing talk on the airwaves.
Hey, fight fans, check out KOFantasyBoxing.com. KO Fantasy Boxing is boxing's only trademarked fantasy game. Check it out, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Select your own gym, your own fighters, track them through a season that can last from 3 months to a year, depending upon which league you join. You got to check this out, man. www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Join it today. Again, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com, and tell them Billy C sent ya.
Now back to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C., the only radio host man enough to take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on there. Jeremy, man, I need you to take this one, all right?
Wait, what? No way. I can't do this.
Need I remind you I'm Billy C., damn it? Now put on that mustache and get in there.
Hey, look at me. I'm Billy C. Crap.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. It's Talkin' Boxing with Billy C.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. My fellow Americans, good evening. Welcome back to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It's great to be here discussing the sweet science with everybody. I love boxing. I love talking boxing. It's what I do.
Bill.
Wait, what?
Bill.
Why are you interrupting me? Wait, what?
Wrong.
What's
wrong,
the problem?
Billy
What?
C.
I did not have...
We're going to have to ask you.
Wrong speech.
Leave.
What do you mean wrong, Billy C? What's going on here? Fine, I'll go. I just wanted to talk some boxing on TPSradio.net. That's all I wanted to do. I don't need your damn show. I'll get my own talking wrestling with the other Billy C. Yeah, that sounds good. I've always been a Hulkamaniac anyway.
Broadcasting live, brother. Welcome back to Talking Boxing with Billy C. on the mighty TPSradio.net, brother. What you gonna do, brother?
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. I want to welcome the Fight Now audience just joining us. You guys got to listen to the guy from Rent-A-Center. What's his name? Oh, yeah, Hulk Hogan. You don't have Fight Now on your sports channel lineup. You need to call your local television provider and tell them you want Fight Now right now. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and call them. All the information about the channel can be found on the website, www.fightnow.com. But anyway, we're in the mailbag, reading the emails before we get into some news. We got Tyson Fury coming up in a few minutes, actually. He's going to be coming on in about 15 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. Give a shout-out to my man, Coach. We'll be talking about him a little later on the show. You'll have to wait and find out why. But he's a Long Island man just like me. That's where I'm from, Long Island. But anyway, he's watching us on Fight Now, actually. You know, he's the one that gives us the heads up. Yep, it's on. It's good. No, they got some kind of mop commercial going on. Wasn't that you? Wasn't that you that said, oh, no, don't go there. You know, we were just talking about how terrible the economy is, and in New York specifically, you know. And I was just talking earlier about how bad the New York State Athletic Commission is, and it's because the state is wasting our taxpayers' money on their salaries. These guys are making six-figure salaries. All they do is play golf and make decisions about shows on the golf course. And by the way, neither one. There's only one or two of the whole staff that's actually knowledgeable. And the bald-headed guy who runs it. No, I know who's supposed to be the commissioner, but she doesn't run it. The bald-headed guy who runs it, I'd like to see his pedigree in boxing outside of his appointed position at the commission, which he's been there for 10 years, 12 years, whatever. But here's a guy that used to be the medical guy. Now he's the big cheese. What's his boxing background? What does he actually know about the sport? Can he fight any? Does he know how to fight? Does he know how to fight anybody? He's a bar owner, but does he know how to fight? I know he knows how to drink, but does he know how to fight? But Coach is saying, I'm thinking about moving to Michigan. The producer of the show, my man Jeremy, he had a job offer, and same reason that Coach is talking about, and hightailed it to Michigan. That was about 2 years ago, and he still does work for the show, long term, over, long distance. Yeah, that's what I meant. And biggest thing he regrets is going to that state, man. So I don't know about Michigan. Yes, I agree. It's time to get out of New York. I'm hoping I'm going to be going out west soon, so we'll have to wait and see about that. Hopefully, I'm going to know in a couple of weeks. But I'm planning on going out west. I'm happy with that. But the only thing I'm going to miss in New York is nothing. No, I'm going to miss New York, man. I'm going to miss the food. I'm going to miss the bread. I'm going to miss all of that stuff. But anyway, Biggerback says Hopkins is higher than James Toney. Hey, listen, I'm going to give you my top. I told you guys that B-Hop is in my top 25 all-time great top 25, all right? Not top 10. He did not make my top 10. He's in my top 25. I'm going to give him to you coming up in a little bit. Biggerback says Hopkins is higher than Toney and Roy Jones Jr. in the all-time list due to consistency and mental toughness. Every time B-Hop loses, he comes back stronger, and many believe he should have beaten Taylor, Calzaghe, and Pascal. Number one, and most of Roy Jones Jr. and Toney wins were fights they were supposed to win, and hand-picked fights. How many times B-Hop pulled the unexpected, which is something to consider on this list? And he puts Pascal, Trinidad, Pavlik, Tarver, Glenn Johnson. I agree with you, Biggerback. I agree with you, man. That is something that Bernard Hopkins needs to get credit for. Bernard Hopkins does come back when we're ready to count him out. Bernard Hopkins does come back with a good performance after a stinker. And I think for the most part, I agree with all of that, actually. I thought, and I've said this more than once, I thought that Bernard Hopkins beat Jermaine Taylor not once but twice. I thought he beat him both fights. The Calzaghe fight, you could argue that too. I thought Calzaghe. I can't. Listen, Calzaghe to me is one of the most overrated fighters ever. So, I agree with you there. Pascal won. No, I don't think he won that fight. I don't think he won the first Pascal fight. But I give Taylor. I give Hopkins credit for that, and that's my point about Bernard Hopkins, fellas and ladies. I think that Bernard Hopkins has made more of an impact on a lot of you guys that are young, of the second wind of his career. I think you're going back and looking at the history, but you're focusing on his performances of late. If you do go back and look at the history, you'll see that his fights, in my opinion, weren't that exciting ever. He never really fought, the top people because the titles were so split. And his claim to fame, like his longevity, and like I keep saying, his longevity is what catapulted him to where he is now. And yes, he is an all-time great. He's on my all-time great list, yes, but not among the top 10. I'm going to give you mine in a minute. Biggerback says, look at the consecutive title defenses he had. None could come close to his resume in the past 20 years. He truly had a legacy career where many can't name the best that Roy Jones Jr. and Toney beat because they fought a lot of overmatched opposition, and B-Hop had it tough since the first Roy Jones fight. He's had a longer period of dominance against higher-risk fighters and considered a mental toughness because he was never discouraged after he lost, and he never ducked like the others, just like an all-time great. I agree with all of that. I agree with all of it. One thing we need to give B-Hop credit for is the fact that he did stay in that one division for so long. Roy and James Toney obviously left, when as quickly as they could. B-Hop stuck around. The throwback part of him, all-time great fighters, yes, he comes back from losing. A loss doesn't devastate him. Yes, I like him. I like that about B-Hop. I like his defensiveness. He's a great defensive fighter. I like his longevity. I do like it, and for the most part, he's been competitive at the higher ages. I don't like his mouth, and I don't like his offense. And I think he's an all-time great, just not a top 10. That's all. I mean, listen, we're talking all-time, man. We're talking all-time here. We're talking all-time. In case you're wondering, we're talking all-time. But we're talking all-time great. So many great fighters in the middleweight division. I mean, next to the heavyweight division, the middleweight division is the division. So I mean, to say he's top 10, like most of you that have given me your top 10 list, to say he's top 10, tells me that you guys are, definitely 40 years old or younger, because what you're looking at, maybe you're going back as far as the 80s, maybe. Maybe the 70s. Carlos Monzona's in all your lists. You got Sugar Ray Robinson because it's been drilled in our heads. I just, you can't just go by video footage. A lot of people have said, hey, I can't put a guy in my top 10 when I can't watch him fight. And when I watch footage of guys, they don't look all that dangerous. Jack Johnson, for an example, who's going to be our blast from the past tomorrow. Yeah, we've done him before, but I think it's time to do him again. The thing is this. You can't go by the old footage, man. I mean, we live in an age today with the technology and high definition. I mean, I stick a fight on, and I'm watching it in high definition on my high definition television, and it looks like the guys are fighting in my living room, for God's sakes. I mean, it's not 3D, but you can see the depth in the picture. And it's not like I got this great, huge screen either, So I mean, yeah, when you watch video of that, when LDL TV does a production, when we do our live fights, he films them in HD, and when you watch the replays, like the bite of Barthélemy biting Grady Brewer, I mean, you see all of that, you see it all. So I mean, and then you compare it to grainy footage of even Sugar Ray Robinson or Rocky Marciano or Jack Dempsey, and you say to yourself, well, how could they be so good? Because you're not seeing it really, you're not seeing it live, you're not seeing it real time, and we'll never will be able to. What you need to do is do the old-fashioned thing, read about it, read different things. I don't say read one book about Jack Johnson. I don't even remember how many books on Jack Johnson I've read. Yes, the stories are basically, they follow the same timeline. But when you get different perspectives, different eyewitness accounts, different newspaper reports, then you make your own judgment, And I think that a lot of people that are putting B-Hop in their top 10 are not remembering some of these great fighters. But anyway, Manophonics says, making a top 10 list at 160 pounds is pretty tough for me, being the age I am. This is exactly what I was just saying, bro. He says, I'm better at divisions for me to give an opinion about are the newer ones, like 168 and 200 pounds. Manophonics, are you from Europe? The reason why I ask is because, it's funny you mentioned 200 pounds. Now, he's referring to cruiserweight. Now, I love the cruiserweight division. I think the cruiserweight division is one of the most underrated divisions we have. But it just my question to Mano is the fact that, in Europe, they like the cruiserweight division more than our fans here in the United States. And I applaud Europe for that because it's an exciting division. I'm just curious to know. And likewise with 168, the super middleweight division is pretty popular over on the other side of the pond too. So I'm just wondering if Mano is from the other side of the pond. He says, with divisions that span many decades instead of only several, so many factors, training, nutrition, amount of fights, politics, etc., make comparing fighters from different eras difficult. Monzon better than Greb, no idea. That is the problem, and we talk about that all the time, about trying to compare fighters from different eras and everything else. It's just a dream. It's just a dream matchup, Mano, so don't get wrapped up in that. And speaking of getting wrapped up, I see that my man Tyson Fury is here. So we got one more email, and then another, my main man's got his top 10 all-time great middleweights, and then I'm going to give you mine. But first, we got to switch gears for the big man, 6'9", Tyson Fury. We'll be right back.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio with no worthy contenders. It's Talking Boxing with Billy C.
And we're back. You are listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. And if you don't have Fight Now on your sports channel lineup, then you need to call your local television provider and tell them you want Fight Now right now. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and tell them you want the Fight Now channel. That's it. For all the information about the channel, you can find it on their website, www.fightnow.com. And speaking of now, joining us, the WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Tyson Fury. Good morning, Tyson.
Good morning to you. How are you doing?
Great. Glad you could join us again. Glad to have you back. What's going on, man? What do you got scheduled? Anything?
I'm just deep in training camp at the moment over in Belgium. I've been here 3 weeks already. I've got another 12 weeks to go. We're looking at getting something big going November. I can't really mention any names, but it's a big fight.
So that sounds good, man. November. When you look at your last 3 fights, all 3 of them against noted tough guys, have you feel, I mean, since the last time we spoke, you just seem to be getting better and better and better. What did they help you with in terms of your whole game? I mean, fighting those kind of fights. What do you think they did for you?
I think they give me a good experience, against fighters that's been around the game a long while, mixed in world class. And the good measuring sticks to see where you are right now, And like I said, the tough guys, Magalone and Rogan, but I have them in quite easily. It's not for the fact of beating these guys, because other people have beaten them before, but it's the fashion that they've beaten them in. But Magalone didn't land a punch. I don't think anybody's done that to him before. Just made him look a bit silly, really. And the same with Martin Rogan. He didn't really land any punches at all.
No, both of those guys.
Boxing game. Into it.
Yeah, what I was saying is both of those guys are not known for getting taken out of there in less than 6 rounds, and you took all 3 of them out in less than 6. Nevin Pakic in 3, and Rogan and Vinny Magalone both in 5. So all 3 were very impressive. Plus, when you really dissect your whole record from the time you turned pro, you haven't ever really been in there soft. I don't think anybody could ever say that you've been fighting easy guys. I mean, do you feel you're getting better and better each time out?
Yeah, you know what it is. I think once you've got a fighter who can actually fight, then there's no need to match him against no-hopers. Like I say, even from the beginning, I was fighting guys like 21 and 2 records of 20 KOs and stuff like that. And even when I did find the journeyman, he was like Europe's toughest journeyman, never been stopped before. I was the first person to stop him, Daniel Perez. Just all tough guys, and I started fighting undefeated guys when I had 5-6 fights. And it's been a great learning experience, I don't believe that fighting easy touches get you prepared for being the heavyweight champ of the world. I'm on the quest to be that heavyweight champ, so I need the right learning curve, and I've had that so far. Credit to Nick Hennessy and Hennessy Sports. They've done a great job with me so far, and I'm just looking forward to the future, some big fights. These guys are tough. They're good learning fights. But I need to step it up now, step it up to the next level, and start taking out the world top 10.
Well, you're in that top 10, at least in our rankings. So obviously it's going to get tougher and tougher. Do you and your team turn around after each fight and evaluate your performance and work on things? And if so, what kind of stuff have you been working on to improve?
The before in the past, up until I fought Martin Rogan, even the Project fight, I was training in the shed and I was practically training myself. And you can't train yourself to fight. I don't know how I got so far doing lousy things. I was coming in at 270s, 275 pounds, fat out of shape guys. It just, I don't know how. I was really lucky. God was on my side that I was winning these fights, because if I had took past 5 rounds, I was knackered. I'd have got beat, but I was putting everything into the early rounds, hoping for the KOs, which I got. And I was just playing at the sport, you know, and I realised that this is not a sport to be played at. And now I've got really good people training me. We've been working on so many things, the conditioning side of things, proper weights programs, proper diets. Everything's been professional, you know. The Klitschko's aren't doing anything different to what I'm doing. I'm having world-class training, world-class sparring, world-class everything. And now it's starting to really show, you know. My conditioning's been superb in the last few fights, and I'm getting better and better. And like you say, after the fights, after the victories, we don't just say, oh, that's a win, do the same thing next time. We study our opponents, we work a game plan out for that person, but we look at the old videos and see what we're doing wrong. Like in the past, when I was boxed Rogan, I'd send southpaw for that fight because I wasn't ready at that time to go back orthodox, because I was still getting caught with the over and right over the left jab, which suggested that my jab was not coming back to my chin and my chin wasn't down, so we switched southpaw for that one, but we got it right now, so back to orthodox from now on. Just little tiny things, you know, that make a big difference. Like at the moment we're working on perfecting that jab, perfecting the feet, giving good angles on the inside and outside, not backing up in straight lines, going nowhere near the ropes or the corners, taking command of the centre of the ring with a jab. And I think that's the key to victory nowadays of heavyweight boxing, the jab, especially a jab like I've got. It's a hurtful jab and a fast jab as well, so we've got to perfect that, and I don't think anybody can beat me.
You know, speaking of your jab, that's one thing I notice about the way you deliver your jab. And when I've evaluated your fights, I look at it and I say, well, here's a guy that's 6'9", and it's hard to find guys that, you know, the same size as you. And sometimes I notice the delivery of your jab is coming from a low point, you know, and it's probably indicative of you fighting shorter guys. With that said, do you think that jab has to be delivered a little higher when you're fighting, let's say, a guy similar in size to you, or at least 6'5" and bigger?
Yeah, obviously. You know, with shorter guys, you can't have the jab high because you're not going to hit them at all. The jab's got to come from the low point because then you have to, like, duck down and get to their size. So the hand's got to be low and it's got to come upwards. You can't jab at full height, extended, and expect to hit somebody who's like 6'1", 6'2". Before, if I was fighting someone 6'6", 6'5", and the jab would come from the chin, from behind the shoulder on a high level, and it'd come back there. But at the moment, we've got to practice getting the jab out on these shorter guys, and I think the only way to do it is to it coming from a lower position and try and defend the shoulder as it comes back, try and get out of the way of the return. And like I say, it's definitely a thing that if I couldn't do that against someone like or whoever else is a tall fighter, Lenius, or any other tall fighters, you won't get away with it. But because I'm fighting people who are smaller, then I've been able to get away with it so far, but it's a good point.
You know, you hit on something that I feel is going to be an advantage to you. Obviously, the Klitschkos are in your sights. I mean, there's no rush. You're only 24 years old. I mean, I got T-shirts older than you, you know, and you know, the bottom line is eventually you're going to be fighting a Klitschko. My question is this. They're in the same boat. They've become proficient in fighting the smaller guy. And I keep wondering, how the hell are they going to fight a guy that's actually bigger than them when the time comes and you do step in the ring? Do you think the advantage is going to be to you because they're just not familiar fighting with a bigger guy?
Yeah, definitely. I think that fight's is a very, very good fight for me, especially with Vladimir or even Vitaly if he doesn't retire. Because like you say, they don't fight people who's same size as them or bigger, because there isn't anybody. There's only me and a few other guys who's similar size or taller. And I do believe that if I fight Vladimir, then what he will try to do, and if he doesn't try to do it, he'll lose on the outside, because you can't out-jab someone who's got longer arms on you, and he boxes tall. So he's not going to do that one. So I think he's got to come forward and try and do the same thing he tried to do with Tony Thompson, like roll under and try and get his hooks off and work in close. But he was getting caught a lot with Thompson, and Thompson's nowhere near as fast as I am. I'm more as ambitious, so he's got not as many shots in the closet. So when he does try and come in, he'll be walking onto a big uppercut and angles as well, and back on my job. So, and we're looking at a few more fights first, a couple more fights maybe, and then take the big one. But I can guarantee when it does come, there's only one winner, and that's me.
Well, I've been a big fan of yours, Tyson. Actually, one of our correspondents in London turned me on to you. I've been following your fight since your third pro fight, so I've been watching all the improvements and stuff, and you're one of my favorite fighters. And when I look at the potential showdown with a Klitschko, I see something else that I think is in your favor. And that's, when you do it, when you want to do it, and obviously this conditioning, the improvement in the conditioning is going to help you. When you throw punches in bunches, so to speak, and be aggressive, that's something that Vladimir Klitschko doesn't like. And with a guy like you, with the jab that you do possess, and if you can package in, multiple combinations, I think you're going to have this guy backpedaling when the time comes. And he's not going to know what to do. And once we get that doubt back in his mind, I think he's going to revert back to the old Klitschko. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the same. I think Vladimir knows, Emmanuel Stewart knows, they all know that I'm coming for them. And he knows about the time at the top. And it's my time to shine now. And this is my era. If I've theirs, it's finished. As soon as I get hold of him, he's going to be going down. But I do think what you say, as soon as he gets clipped, and as soon as he knows that I'm a big fella, he's been next to me. We've spoken everything. He knows the attitude. I've got his do-or-die attitude. And he hasn't fought anybody like that. He fights people with no ambition. Yeah, I've got the heart of a lion. I've got the ambition that I never want to lose. I've got a will to win more than the next person. And to beat me, he has to knock me out. Nail me to the canvas, then I've lost. Until I'm going to get you. Sooner or later, I'm going to tag him. And when he does get tagged, then it's all over for him. Because we know that he hasn't got the best of teams. And we know he's been perfecting his defence, so he doesn't take them shots. But like you say, he hasn't forced anybody in my stature for a long time.
Well, Tyson, listen, man, you keep us posted. As soon as you get something scheduled definitively in November, that would be great. I'd love to have you back on and talk about that fight. You don't have anything scheduled yet, right?
Not right now. Just we know the date's November.
Oh, okay, good.
Late October or early November.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, when you get it scheduled and you know who you're going to be fighting, get a hold of us. We'd love to have you back on, and hopefully we can talk about how you're going to win your next one.
That'll do. All the best. Take it easy. God bless.
All right, brother. Take care. That's heavyweight, WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Let's get it right, man, because he's now on the world stage. Tyson Fury, 6'9", 24 years old. This guy's, he's getting better and better and better. We talked about him beating his last three fights, all against known tough guys. And Nevin Paikich, who's the Canadian heavyweight champ, Martin Rogan, who we all know him. He's on the front page of our website. He's a tough guy for sure. And, of course, Vinny Matalone, a guy that is known for his toughness. All three of them went down inside of 6. Matalone and Rogan in round 5, and, of course, Nevin Paikich in round 3. Tyson Fury, keep your eyes on him. He's scheduled to fight end of October, beginning of November. I can't wait. We'll have him on before that. I got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. now has official merchandise available on TalkinBoxing.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and mugs. And yes, even undergarments. Talkin' Boxing apparel is the perfect gift for the boxing fan in your life. Log on to www.talkinboxing.com. That's TalkinBoxing.com and place your order today.
Join us here for 2 hours as Billy and the gang do what they do best.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out the ass. Rocky Marciano was good, but compared to Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano ain't.
Hit Joe Louis's ass.
Joe Louis was 75 years old when he fought.
Huh? What?
We're supposed to be talking boxing.
It's Talking Boxing with Billy C.
As Billy C. sits here in the multi-million-dollar Talkin' Boxing Studios, sipping a fine wine before you're even out of bed, you should be thinking, damn, I wish I had a mustache like his. It's the Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. show. He's Billy C., and you're not. Sucks to be you.
Now let's dig into our archives and hear a rare interview when Billy C. first became the champion of boxing talk radio. Hello, Billy C. As the new champ, can we ask you a few questions?
Why, certainly.
Okay, your fans would like to know how you and your corner have successfully walloped the competition.
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
Anything else?
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Did your success finally come when you made the show 5 days a week for 2 hours? What do you think?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Now, please tell the listeners what you've learned from making it this far.
Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
Great words of wisdom, Billy C. Keep up the great work as the undisputed People's Champion with your show, Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. Any last words to anyone who's listening?
This is your fault, you bonehead.
And we're back. You are listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. If you don't have Fight Now on your sports channel lineup, you need to call your local television provider, whether it's got a cable or satellite dish. Tell them that you want Fight Now right now. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and call them. And don't forget, for all the information about Fight Now, you can find it on their website, www.fightnow.com. And don't forget, every night is Fight Night on Fight Now. Tune into their website to see what's on tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's right. Give a shout-out to my girl. My favorite girl, Kaylee, is in the chat room. And my regulars, Coach and Hanging Fire, Jay is in there. Jay is leaving. You know what? You know, Jay is he's off base. He's off base with the old-time stuff he's talking about. So, yeah. You know, so... we'll see what happens tomorrow when he comes back. I know he's got to take off now, but you know, he's wondering about the old time fighters, and you know, he's one of these guys that is saying that the today's fighters are better, and he actually made a statement that it's got the rest of us here in this chat room kind of shocked. He said that he felt that who did he say? He said that. What's his name? Let's see. I got to try and find what he said. Who did he say that he thought was better than Moore? Let's see. I have to go back here. Hopkins. He's talking about. They're talking about all the Hopkins thing, and he's saying Archie Moore wasn't as good, right? Oh yeah, he's saying thanks, Coach. Coach is seeing me trying to do the show live, and I'm trying to page through here. He said that Bernard Hopkins was better than Archie Moore. You see, now, Archie Moore, one of the all-time great fighters, you know, and if you just looked at his record and what he was saying in the chat room, the bottom line is, you know, if you look at his record and you're not familiar with the people, that he fought, you could easily say that they're bums. Or if you look at their record, and that's what he said, you know, if you look at their record and you see a guy with, 35 wins and, 15 losses or 20 losses for that matter, that doesn't necessarily mean he was a bum. I mean, back in the day, it was a lot different. And I made a point. I said, the bottom line is do you think that today's fighters are better off when they're coddled and moved along rather than, learn the trade? I said that, boxing back in the day was a trade. But anyway, we got one more email, and it's from Mano. He says, did I read this part of it yet? Yeah, I didn't. He did last part of it. He says, talking about Martinez and Chavez Jr., he says, a lot of people give Chavez Jr. a hard time for being given the title, but Hopkins beat Pavlik before Martinez did in a BS catchweight fight. And I don't remember Martinez calling out Bernard Hopkins. Chavez Jr. Got the belt when he didn't beat the man who beat the man. So did Martinez. He says Pavlik was no longer the man, in his opinion, when Martinez beat him. He says B-Hop was Pavlik. He says Pavlik should have kept his WBC, WBO straps, but lost the ring belt, and Martinez should have fought B-Hop to clean things up at 160. If you believe that B-Hop never really lost to Taylor, he was legit champion anyway. No, Bernard Hopkins won the title from Pavlik. Pavlik was the champion. So Bernard Hopkins won that title. But then Bernard Hopkins moved up in weight. You know, I mean, you're talking about middleweight, right? You know, Martinez had another. Didn't he have another belt? Yeah, see, that's the problem with all these multiple belts. Now I'm confused. I don't even know what the hell it is. But he beat Pavlik. I thought that was his crowning, the crowning part of his career recently. Anyway, you know. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Now I got one more. Top 10 here. This is my man Tony Treem. Now Tony Treem is come on. He's a historian. He knows his boxers. There's no question. Or wait. He knows his prize fighters. That's what Tony likes to call them, prize fighters. Yeah, so old the guy is. He calls them prize fighters. Well, I call them prize fighters with him too, but you guys know them as fighters. You know, so here's what Tony says. Tony says they're great. No, not that Tony. That's Tony the Tiger, Billy. See? Oh, okay. I thought that was kind of funny. You know, Tony says they're great. Get it? Anyway, Kaylee's watching the show. She can't hear it, so she can't even listen to the jokes. But this is Tony's top 10 all time. And now I'm going to give you mine, all right? Now I'm just going to tell you right now, I got Bernard Hopkins in my top 25, not my top 10. So I've told you guys this for 2 weeks. By the way, vote on our poll question, man. Do you think, what is our poll question today? I forgot what the question is. Is that the one where is Klitschko going to lose his title in the ring, or is somebody going to beat him? I think that's what it is. Unless that was last week's. I forget. Just go vote on the question, will you? All right, here's Tony Treem's top 10 all-time great middleweights. Bob Fitzsimmons is number one. Bob Fitzsimmons, a lot of people think of him as a heavyweight because he was a heavyweight, but he was really a middleweight. This guy really walked around, in his early days, in a $160 range. He was a middleweight champion. People forget a lot of these fighters. See, when they only had the 8 weight classes, the heavyweight division just meant that anybody could fight the heavyweight champion. You could be 140 pounds and fight the heavyweight champ. Didn't matter. They weren't concerned with weight. You just couldn't go over the weight limit of a weight class. But under, they didn't care. Bob Fitzsimmons could have been one of the greatest middleweights, and that's a great. I could see where Tony Treem could make this point. Bob Fitzsimmons, number one. Number two, Stanley Ketchel. Stanley Ketchel, number two. Can't argue. Stanley Ketchel was one of these guys that died really young. He was in his 20s, and we never know what he could have done, and he did so much so soon. So clearly a top 10. He's got Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, another guy. I got to be honest, I forgot all about him. I look at him as a light heavyweight, but he's got him at number 3. That's how high up Tony Treem's got him. He's got Harry Greb, the great Harry Greb, at number 4. He's got Sugar Ray Robinson at number 5. Now, I'm sure that Tony Treem is thinking more of Sugar Ray as a welterweight than a middleweight, but I think he's number 1 in both weight classes, but that's me. Number 6, he's got non-parallel Jack Dempsey, who was one of the greatest fighters of all time. Had one loss and was old and sick when he lost. But read up about this guy, because one of the greatest fighters ever to put on a glove that you guys never heard of. When people think of Jack Dempsey, they think of the heavyweight Jack Dempsey, who was named after this guy. So, look up Jack Dempsey, non-parallel Jack Dempsey, the great middleweight champion. Great number 6 for Tony. Kid McCoy. Damn you, Tony Treem. I forgot about Kid McCoy myself. They got that saying, he's the real McCoy, from Kid McCoy. Now, the reason why is because Kid McCoy was accused of setting himself up for other fights, meaning that he wouldn't perform to the best of his ability in a particular fight, and then, kind of get people comfortable in fighting him, and then would come back, and then that would be the real McCoy. So that's where that came from, man. That's a lot of things, sayings, and I got a gnat. I got Hector Camacho flying around in here. A lot of sayings are based on boxing. Think of some of the things in everyday life. Like you see a car sale. You see, you got the car dealer, the local car dealer. You see the commercial. We got a knockout sale for you. We're gonna knock out the competition. Yeah, come on. Our competition has thrown in the towel. Come on. If you didn't know boxing at all, and people know that they're boxing comparison, lines out of boxing, but yet they don't watch the boxing. I don't know. We got number 7 was Kid McCoy. Number 8, Tommy Ryan. He's got and Tommy Ryan was a great champion as well. Number 9 was Roy Jones Jr. And number 10, his top 10, his number 10 guy was Mickey Walker. So great top 10 list by my main man, Tony Treem. All right, it's time. I'll give you mine. I'm not going to keep waiting. You guys, you feel free to come in. I tell you, one thing I like about Mano, he asks about the all-time great top 10 cruiserweights. I mean, can we name top 10 all-time great cruiserweights? I mean, the cruiserweight division, really only goes back to the 80s. So, I would love that, though. Who do you think? Jeez. All right, here's my all-time. Here's my all-time great. Now, I'm going to go to my number. I'm going to go to my number that I have B-Hop at. So this is going to go beyond the top 10. But here's my all-time great middleweight. All right? That's right. Coach K is saying Kid McCoy invented the famous corkscrew punch. As a matter of fact, they used to, I'll add a little something on that. They used to, they actually put in newspaper descriptions of how he would throw that corkscrew punch. Pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, number 1, Sugar Ray Leonard. No, Sugar Ray Robinson. Number 1, Sugar Ray Robinson. He's my all-time, I think he's the best fighter ever to lace on a pair of gloves. So he's number 1. Number 2, Harry Greb. I got Harry Greb at number 2. If you've never read the Harry Greb book that my man Bill Paxton wrote, you're missing out on the Encyclopedia of Harry Greb, really. And you could check that book out and get a copy of it by visiting www.billycboxing.com and go to the book club, because we only got the best books in the book club. And speaking of books, don't forget about mine. That's right. If you want to get the early discount break signed copy deal, whatever we got going on up there, I think it expires at the end of the month, so you better take advantage of it now. BillyCBoxing.com and then the book club. Number 3, Stanley Ketchel. I got Stanley Ketchel at number 3. Great fighter, shot in his prime. He was fooling around with, somebody else's wife or girlfriend or whatever in the kitchen, and got a bullet in the back. A couple bullets, actually. Ironically enough, I don't know if you ever know this story, but the guy who shot him, the woman, I don't know if she did any time. If she did, it was very minimal. But the guy did, I think, 10 years. And when he got let out of prison, he became a fuel truck driver. and he actually delivered fuel to the same house that he used to own, where he shot and killed Stanley Ketchel. Amazing. My number 4, all-time great middleweight, non-parallel Jack Dempsey. That's right. He's my number 4. Number 5, Mickey Walker. I got Mickey Walker a lot higher than Tony does. I got Mickey Walker at number 5. Tough guy. If he would have stayed away from the booze, he would have been. It could have been the greatest. Number 6, I got Carlos Monzon at number 6. Carlos Monzon was a dominating fighter in his era. Had a pawing jab. He was sneaky, very powerful puncher. But I don't have him any higher than number 6. And my number 7 guy might have been able to beat him, and I have Bob Fitzsimmons at number 7. So, I, too, have Bob Fitzsimmons rated as a middleweight, like Tony does. Number 8, I think, is one of the most underrated fighters of all time. The only fighter that Sugar Ray Robinson said he refused to fight. Now, people have said, he refused to fight him because he had a tendency to make everyone look bad. Talk about defensive, a guy that was defensively solid and was hard to hit. If this guy had hands that would stop breaking, he would break his hands hitting the heavy bag. Charlie Burley is my number 8. Charlie Burley had weak hands. His hands would break almost every couple of fights. He would break his hands and just continue fighting. Never had any special surgery or nothing. So the amount of pain that this man must have been in on a regular basis is amazing, and still to accomplish what he accomplished. And you talk about guys like Archie Moore and some of the the other great fighters of that era. Look at who Charlie Burley fought multiple times. I mean, amazing, the group of guys that they all fought. Charlie Burley's number 8. Well, I have him at my all-time great top 10 list, let alone middleweights. But I got him at number 8 at the middleweight. Number 9, I got Jake LaMotta at number 9. Jake LaMotta. Now, this is my all-time great middleweight list. That I'm rating these guys how I felt. We're not breaking them down. In my opinion, I'm not breaking them down by pure skill or anything else. I'm breaking them down by their accomplishments in the ring. I don't care. Rocky Marciano was not exactly the most technically sound fighter in the heavyweight division, but yet he accomplished more than any other heavyweight so far. But that doesn't mean he was the best heavyweight, in terms of pure skill. So, I mean, that's why I have Jake LaMotta. That's why I have Jake LaMotta right now. At number 9. Number 10, speaking of Jake LaMotta, was a guy that never really lived up to as much as he could have because his life was taken short as well. And that's Marcel Cerdan. Marcel Cerdan was a French fighter who was extremely talented and died in a plane crash on his way back to fight Jake LaMotta after he had lost in the famous fight that he had ripped up his shoulder in. And that was a fight that was portrayed in Raging Bull. And I gave you guys a little story about that. The guy that used to do our T-shirts, his name was Eli, and his dad was the actor who played Marcel Cerdan in the Raging Bull movie. And Scorsese, who was the director, kept having, and he was a pro boxer out of New York when the Boxing Commission had talented people in it, and was a boxer, an up and coming welterweight. I think he only had one loss, and this was a kid that his last name was Raftis. I forget his first name, the fighter, but he was hired to play Marcel Cerdan, and Scorsese was trying to get him to fall just the right way, and they kept doing the take over and over and over, and finally he fell just the right way, and guess what? Shattered his own shoulder and ended his boxing career. Little tidbit for you there. And he went on to never be able to fight again. And at the time, they paid him like $25,000 to do that scene. So, That's my number 10 all-time great middleweight is Marcel Cerdan. Number 11. Now, I'm going to keep going till I get to B-Hop, right? Because this is what started this whole thing. Number 11, I got Marvin Hagler. I got Hagler at number 11. I do have Hagler up there, right? Number 11. Murph just popped in, so I'll go over all the first 10 so Murphy hears them. But number 11, I got Marvin Hagler. Tony Zale comes in at my number 12. Great fighter, underestimated, man. You know, he's very underrated, I should say. Number 13, lucky 13. I got Tiger Flowers at number 13. Another tough fighter. Quality middleweight, number 13. Number 14, I got Gene Fullmer at number 14. What can we say? What else do I got to say about Gene Fullmer? He's all-time great middleweight. That's what I'm going to say. He's my number 14. Number 15 is a guy that you might remember as a heavyweight. He's actually one of the former world heavyweight champions. He's also, and you know what? As I'm saying this, Ezra Charles just popped in my head, and I really should have put him down as a great middleweight as well, because that's where, he campaigned a lot of his early career as a middleweight, but we all think of him as a heavyweight. But, But Marvin Hart is my number 15 middleweight. The reason why I'm putting him at middleweight and why I wouldn't ever even consider ranking him at heavyweight, even though he was a world heavyweight champion, he happens to be one of the only early world champions that is not in the Hall of Fame. I just read Adam Pollock's book on Marvin Hart. It's a read that you might be interested in, and his whole chronological order of the heavyweight title, beginning with Corbett, is actually beginning with John L. Sullivan, is in the Billy C. Book Club. So check him out. Marvin Hart was a middleweight. He was a middleweight. Well, this guy was one of the toughest guys. He's described as Arturo Gatti, a big version of Arturo Gatti. Marvin Hart's my number 15 all-time great middleweight. Number 16 is Nino Benvenuti. You know, I love Nino Benvenuti. I love him now too. When I see him up at the Hall of Fame, he's got the babes, man. He's an older dude. He's in his 70s now, and he's still got these young chicks hanging around him. They love him. You know, I say young. You know, I mean they're probably my age that are hanging around him, but they're young for him. You know, but all very attractive. He's like a movie star. Nino Benvenuti's like a new movie star, really. And he was a great fighter too. I got him at number 16. Number 17, I got Tommy Ryan. You know, me and Tony Treem are the only ones that even put Tommy Ryan in the list. It was a great middleweight. Great. Go look him up, man. I got him at number 17. See, this is my point. How do you put Bernard Hopkins in your top 10 when I'm naming all these guys that are in my top? I'm already up to number 17. Haven't gotten close to B-Hop yet. Number 18 is the other Tiger, Dick Tiger. He's my number 18 guy. Number 19, a lot of you guys are going to probably disagree with my number 19 and my number 20. Number 19 is a guy that had one of the most devastating left hooks that boxing has ever known. Was a guy that sometimes got up for fighting and sometimes didn't, but had all the talent in the world, and was about to make a huge splash on the sport of boxing. And it was cut short. He was cut short because of he got roped into he got arrested. He got arrested and ended up doing 20 years in jail before they let him out, 20 something. And yeah, I'm talking about Hurricane Carter. Hurricane Carter was a great fighter, and a lot of people forget about him. And I got him at my all-time great number 19 as a middleweight. You know, and if you've never seen how devastating this guy's left hook was, punch him up. You know, I don't know of any middleweights, today that would have had their way with him. That's for sure. My number 20 all-time great is Rocky Graziano. I put Rocky Graziano here for the same reason I was describing Rocky Marciano. A guy that virtually had no skill, but was very successful, and had some great fights with Tony Zale. Rocky Graziano's another guy that's fastly becoming forgotten, and I don't think he should be. I think he's a great fighter. He's a Hall of Famer. He was in Bert Sugar's top 100 fighters. I got Rocky Graziano at my number 20, all-time top great middleweight. Number 21 and number 22 can be flip-flopped if you want, but number 21 on my list is Roy Jones Jr. Yes, he left the division, but during this time, he was absolutely fantastic. He did fight everyone he could have fought at middleweight. He possessed all the skills and excitement that make him an all-time great, in my opinion, at the middleweight division. And number 22 is where I'm going to stop, because that's where I have Bernard Hopkins. Now, he's an all-time great. And when you consider all the great fighters in the middleweight division, all those great fighters, that's why I have him at 22. And I think number 22 is very good when you consider all these great fighters in the middleweight division. Being in the top 25 of the middleweight division is great. I just think that most of you have him ranked too high. Coach K saying Hurricane Carter, no way. Listen. He was way better. Murphy's disagreeing with me too. You guys go watch some footage of Hurricane Carter, please. But before you even comment, go watch some footage of Hurricane Carter. It was way above a club fighter. Look who he fought. Look who he fought. He beat Jimmy Ellis, for God's sakes. Destroyed Ellis when Ellis was a middleweight. Come on. Okay, top 22, real quick. I'm going to run them through, then I got to take a break. Number 1, Sugar Ray Robinson. Number 2, Harry Greb. Number 3, Stanley Ketchel. Number 4, non-parallel Jack Dempsey. Number 5, Mickey Walker. Number 6, Carlos Monzon. Number 7, Bob Fitzsimmons. Number 8, Charlie Burley. Number 9, Jake LaMotta. Number 10, Marcel Cerdan. Number 11, Marvin Hagler. Number 12, Tony Zale. Number 13, Tiger Flowers. Number 14, Gene Fulmer. Number 15, Marvelous Marvin Hart. That's right, he was the first Marvelous Marvin. Number 16, Nino Benvenuti. Number 17, Tommy Ryan. Number 18, Dick Tiger. Number 19, Hurricane Carter. Number 20, Rocky Graziano. Number 21, Roy Jones Jr. And what started this all at number 22 is Bernard Hopkins. This is my opinion. So that's my top 22 all-time great middleweights. If you still have your list and you haven't sent it in, email it to me, Billy@TalkinBoxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. I got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Talking Boxing with Billy C. Every week, 2 hours of the best boxing talk on the radio.
Mike Tyson looked like he put on some pounds. He was fat. He went into McDonald's and he just said to them, hey, give me 6 of everything on the menu. He put on 2 watches and covered 2 time zones. I'm talking fat here. Got on a scale the other day and it said, come on, one of you guys got to get off. Last thing I heard is that he jumped into the ocean and he left a ring around the continent. He's fat.
Boxing with Billy C.
Time for another major in golf. This time it's across the pond for the Open Championship. What's at stake? That's next on Sports Shorts with me, the Sports Princess.
Want to put some wild into your weekend? Come to the all-new Mesquite Pro Rodeo. Corral seats start at just $12, and kids are always half price. Get your tickets at Kroger and save $5. This weekend, meet the rodeo legends. Tractor Supply sponsors the Neil Gay Cowboy Reunion. The city ends and the Wild West begins at cool air-conditioned Mesquite Arena, I-635 and Exit 4, 7:30 Friday and Saturday. Mesquite is the official rodeo capital of Texas.
Filled with tricky pot bunkers that you have to climb into, no less, this year's Open at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's in England is certain to be tough, even for the most seasoned professional golfer. Tiger Woods, who hasn't won a major in 4 years, is looking to pick up his 15th career title. The last American to win at Royal Lytham was David Duval in 2001. Should Woods win, it would be his 4th Open, the last back in 2006. The Americans and the Europeans and everybody else in between know that this is no walk in the park, and with rain expected, they'll need more than umbrellas and a good caddy to navigate this 7,086-yard course that rewards great ball striking and punishes the rest. Whoever wins the Claret Jug will no doubt be playing some target golf at this major. I'm the Sports Princess with Sports Shorts.
Now back to Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. He may not have an Excellence in Broadcasting award, but the night's still young.
And he's got martinis.
So you never know what may be by morning. It's Talkin' Boxing with Billy C.
Talking Boxing with Billy C.
The one, the only, Don King.
Makes me feel good, Billy, to have you, the number one show in the country, Talking Boxing with Billy. So I invite each and every American that's listening to this great show to tune in, because we want you to be there with Billy and me.
St. Jimmy's coming down across the alleyway. Up on the boulevard like a zip gun on parade. Lights on the silhouette. He's just a buttonette. Coming at you on the count of one.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. And you're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. What? You don't have Fight Now? Loser. You know, you can get Fight Now real easy. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call your local television provider, whether it's satellite dish or cable, and tell them that you want Fight Now right now. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and call them, and then tell them that you want to add Fight Now to your sports channel lineup. All the information about Fight Now can be found at their website, www.fightnow.com. They're burning me here in the chat room. They don't like my Hurricane Carter pick as a great, all-time great middleweight. I got to give this guy respect. I just do. I'm sorry. You know, and then I also have, you know, and then Murphy's, you know, being all wise-ass to me and stuff. He says, you're just trying to push, just trying to keep B-Hop down, man. You know what? I'll tell you what. I could easily cross off I could easily. I'm laughing at Murphy. He's you know, he was ready to throw down right now. I could easily cross off Hurricane Carter and pencil in Ezra Charles, like I was just saying. I forgot about Ezra Charles. Ezra Charles was a great middleweight. Yes, he moved up to light heavyweight, and he also moved up to heavyweight. You know, just because you have a guy ranked as an all-time great in one division doesn't mean he can't be ranked in another, Murph. Come on, man. That's you know better than that. Come on, you can't say, well, I have him ranked in my light heavyweight. Murphy says, I have him ranked in my light heavyweight all-time great list. Yeah, well, so guess what? Sugar Ray Robinson, he's not going to be in. He's not going to be in your. It does on his list. Well, your list don't matter. This is our show. You know, whatever. You know, you're going to tell me right now that you have Sugar Ray Robinson not on your number one as a welterweight. You got somebody. You know, come on, man. You know, I mean, give me a break. You know, but because I have Murphy's, don't I have Murphy's? I think I might have Murphy's handy, and I'm pretty sure he had. Well, maybe I don't have Murphy's. Oh, yeah, I have Murphy's. Murphy says Sugar Ray Robinson, number one. So who's better than Sugar Ray Robinson at middleweight? I mean, at welterweight. Come on, Murphy. You know, there's nobody you're going to mention in right now typing, yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson is my number one middleweight is what Murphy says. But who's your number one welterweight? You got somebody better than Sugar Ray Robinson as welterweight? Or is he your exception? You know, because he's telling me that you can't rank them on his all-time great lists, which are known worldwide, you know. Anyway, speaking of guys that fought at the middleweight division, you know, come on, man, come on. He's saying I already had him at middleweight, so I don't include him. You know, that's ridiculous, Murphy. That's ridiculous. Whatever. Travis Sims was arrested, man. You know, former champ. He lives in Connecticut. He was also in the political reign. He was a councilman, city councilman. Was arrested the other night and apparently got into an altercation with the coppers. You know how much I hate them cops, man. I hate them. Well, they tasered him. They tasered Travis Sims, not Tarvis. Tarvis is his brother. They tasered Travis Sims. He posted his bail, $1,000, man. $1,000 bond, and he's out. That means he needed $100, right? 41 years old already, Travis Sims. I hope everything works out for my man. He says, according to the police, the allegations are that he was among a group of people that were causing a disturbance involving the widow of his adopted brother. The police say that he was screaming at them, that Sims was screaming at the police, and when they were trying to arrest him, he strongly resisted, and they had to use the stun gun on him. You know, cops are a bunch of punks these days, I think. You know, and I think that they use the stun gun a little too much. You know, first of all, a good police officer. Now, if somebody was waving a weapon, I'm totally off base. They did not say this, but if somebody had a weapon, and a weapon could have been a broom handle, a weapon could have been anything in their hands, you know, and a police officer is in danger, it's a different story. You know, it's a different story. You know, they should use whatever they need to do. But in a case of a domestic problem like this, and this is my opinion, this is what I hate about cops, you know, you don't have to be the tough cop with the uniform that comes up, okay, where's the perpetrator? You know, how about a quality police officer that could kind of diffuse the situation? You know, maybe calm everyone down. And then if you have to make an arrest or you have to take somebody away or whatever, you do it, you know, with respect. You know, I mean, I don't understand why police got to act the way they do. Is that just a typical another governmental job? Because that's what they are. Police are governmental jobs, man, just like the commissions. And New York is, this is Connecticut, but New York is the worst, man. My uncle was a cop in New York for 30-something years. You know, the stories he used to tell, I can't stand what took place. You know, and they all loved it. They all loved it. You know, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens to Mr. Sims. Juan Manuel Marquez. You know, if anybody's pushing for Manny Pacquiao to fight in November against Juan Manuel Marquez, it's Juan Manuel Marquez. You know, he wants to fight bad. He wants another money fight. He wants another money fight. You know, but you know what, these guys. Let's see. I'll have to find my welterweight list, Bill. This is Murphy. He says, but I'm thinking I had Henry Armstrong. Oh, okay. Well, you know, whoa. I can't argue with him. With welterweight. But again, you know, Henry Armstrong and Sugar Ray Robinson on my welterweight list, they're 1 and 2. You know, Ray Robinson number 1 welterweight, and Henry Armstrong number 2. You know, but and then again, you know, Henry Armstrong, he had 3 belts. You know, I mean, you know, so it's tough. And Coach K is anarchy. Hell no, Billy won't go. Yeah, as they're carrying me away in cuffs, as they're carrying me. Nope, I'm laying in front of this here supermarket. I'm not gonna. Whoa, where are you taking me? You know, but if anybody's pushing for the Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao numero cuatro, it's Juan Manuel Marquez. He wants another payday, like I was starting to say. He wants another payday, you know. And, you know, the bottom line is you can't blame the guy. He fought all those years for nothing. But if I'm Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao and Bob Arum and, somebody else who's going to be involved, Team Pacquiao, Team Marquez, here's what I do. I get Juan Manuel Marquez an easy fight in November on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley rematch. I get him an easier fight, I should say. Not a layup, but an easier fight. A very winnable fight. And then I have to turn around and say that early 2013, we do a farewell fight. And this is assuming that they both win, that that Pacquiao beats Timothy Bradley for a second time, and Juan Manuel Marquez wins, and then do a farewell fight. Let Manny retire. Let Juan Manuel Marquez retire. Let them fight each other for a fourth time, and go bye-bye. That's it. Forget Floyd. Floyd ain't happening. Floyd's got bigger fish to fry, or easier fish to fry. Floyd's going to fight Cotto. Floyd's going to fight Guerrero, and then he's going to say bye-bye. And he's going to be undefeated, and you guys are going to be talking about him as the greatest fighter ever. You know, after I'm looking at the grass from the opposite side. You know, so that's what I think should happen for the next two fights for both Floyd and Manny. And let's throw in Juan Manuel Marquez since he's involved. But, you know, I couldn't limit it to 10, Dave, because it all started. Dave's like, well, why doesn't, I missed the first line. Hanging Fire says maybe have Billy C have a top 10 worst cop list. And Murphy's saying he couldn't limit it to 10. No, you're right, Murph. You're right. I couldn't. Murphy's right again. I couldn't limit it to 10. Although I don't know them. I just, you'd have to give me the registered number of policemen in the United States, and I would have a top however many that number is. But, you know, as far as the top 10 all-time great middleweight list, yes, I exceeded 10 only because the whole thing started with Bernard Hopkins, so I wanted to get to him. So, did you catch the news about the ring announcer for the Chad Dawson Andre Ward fight? Now, you know, you would think a big fight like that, you know, maybe you got Michael Buffer, you know, maybe you got, what's his name, Jimmy Lennon Jr., you know, maybe even, Joe Antonacci. You know, I mean, you know, there's so many decent, my man Thomas Triber is a good ring announcer. No, that's not what Goose and Tudor and Gary Shaw decided to do. They decided to bring on actor, and he's currently involved with the NBC's America's Got Talent show. Nick Cannon is going to be singing the national. He's going to be doing the ring announcing duties for Andre Ward, Chad Dawson. What do you think about that, man? You know, what do you think about them bringing in this guy? Now remember, Dan Goosen's got Amy, Amy Hayes. She's a decent announcer too. I love looking at her. Oh my God, you know, he's got her. You know, I mean, they bring Nick Cannon. Come on, man. I think that's BS. Really, I do. I don't like it. It's like that other kid. He's involved in boxing sometimes. They put him on the broadcast. He was like on that little teeny bopper high school show. What was it? Growing Up or Not Growing Pains, or what was that teeny bopper show? I don't know. I don't know. But it's way before way after my time. But Luis Ramos Jr. is fighting September 8th. We don't know who he's fighting against. No, we don't know. It's September 8th. It's 2 weeks away. We don't know who he's fighting against, but by the way, he's the main event. So, that wouldn't fly with the state of New York. Couldn't announce that. New York Boxing Commission, you're not allowed to announce that. Not until they approve it. And 2 weeks away, they're already shutting you down 2 weeks away. In case you're joining us late and why I hate the New York State Athletic Commission so much. Well, a lot of reasons. But they pulled the plug on the big fight this weekend, the war in Whitehall. I guess the promoter didn't pay them off or whatever they're supposed to do to get shows to come off in New York. Oh, that's right. You're supposed to use the New York fighters. They actually want to tell you what fighters to put on your cards in New York. You know, the promoter really doesn't have. There's no reason to promote shows in New York. I think all promoters should just abandon New York, because New York State is the prototype of what boxing would become if our government ran professional boxing. You got people that don't know a left hook from a fish hook making decisions on fighters, like turning down a fight between a fighter that was 1-0 against a fighter that was 0-1. Yes. Or like turning down a fight that was between two guys with the same exact amateur background, same exact age, and same exact size, both making their pro debut. And the New York State Athletic Commission decides 1 week out, it was about 12 days out, that they didn't want to go through there because they felt that these two fighters would never return to New York again to fight. So they're not going to approve that fight. That sounds pretty prejudiced to me, but anyway, don't get me started. I'm ready to kill that bald-headed guy over there. I didn't mean to say that word, but figuratively, kill him on this show. I'm ready to mention names, but anyway, Leo Santa Cruz is going to be taking on Eric Morel. You know what I forgot yesterday, by the way? Don King turned 81. Are we sure that he's 81? Because I thought he was a little older than that. Wasn't he already? I thought he was like 85. But happy birthday, Don. I think he's going to go down in history as the greatest promoter ever in the sport of boxing, at least in my opinion. But he turned 81 yesterday. Last year he had a big party, remember? I guess that was because it was his 80th birthday last year. But Leo Santa Cruz is going to be taking on Eric Morel. And that's going to be on the undercard of the big fight September 15th at the MGM, when the main event is going to be Saul Canelo Alvarez. 41 pro fights under his belt, 40-0 with a draw, 29 knockouts, taking on Little O, and I do mean Little O, Josito Lopez. 30 wins, 4 losses, 18 knockouts. In his 5th title defense. Well, the undercard looks like it's going to be Leo Santa Cruz making his first world title defense of his bantamweight title against Eric Morel. Classic youth versus age matchup. Youth versus age matchup in that one. You can't get any classicer, more classic than that. Classicer. Is that a word? More classic than that. But anyway, I like it. And by the way, I feel like I'm a Jack London pusher, but have you ever read that book? Or it's not a book; it's an essay, short story. You've heard me talk about it before. It's called A Piece of Steak. It's a great read, man. It's like 20 pages or something, maybe less. It got me into the sport of boxing when I was in like 7th grade, and I recommend it. If you've never read that, let me know. I'll be glad to send it to you. I happen to have it converted into Word. I love it. It's one of my favorite short stories. Guys in the chat room, you guys read it. Good. Hanging Fire. He didn't read it. Forget you, Hanging Fire. Oh yeah. Speaking of government workers, but Dave Murphy says, "Piece of Steak." He loved that short story. Coach K says it's classy. Hanging Fire says, I don't know, I work for the state, so I'm not allowed to read. Oh, okay. No, he didn't say that. That's me ad-libbing, man. Hey, if you're a boxer or a trainer, and I know Coach K is, and you're looking for some great equipment, it was part of a huge book that included many short stories for 8th grade. That's what Murphy's saying. It's funny. I read it in about 7th or 8th grade too. I remember it was assigned to us in English class, but I don't recall that. I don't recall if it was part of another book or not. Jack London was a big fight fan. We all know him as a racist. He was the one that wanted to wipe that black smile off of Jack Johnson's face that he would put in the newspaper. But he wrote some other decent stories. One was called The Mexican, and it was about a slick young fighter in that one. And I think there was another one called The Abyss, maybe, where he wrote about boxing and boxers and all that happy stuff. So, he was a great writer, especially for that kind of stuff. But when he wrote about boxing. It's like him and what's his name, the author of Old Man in the Sea. There, he was a big boxing fan too. Got boxing set up. Ernest Hemingway got boxing set up in Florida. Yeah. People don't realize that too, but anyway, we got Walker, Travis Walker, Freight Train. He's looking at this fight that he's got scheduled on September 8th against Tomas Adamek like it's his big chance. He thinks it's his biggest opportunity to gain attention from the boxing public when he gets in there and takes on Tomas Adamek. But I think this is all PR, propaganda. Why? Because he already had his chance to, become a household name, so to speak, in the sport of boxing when he fought Chris Arreola. And he came up short in that one. So he has compiled a couple of W's recently. And I think it's going to be a decent fight. I think his size is going to help him a lot against Adamek. Something he didn't have the luxury of with Arreola. But I was starting to say, before my pea brain wandered off, it's like my puppy. I got this, you guys know I got Rottweiler. Well, I got a Rottweiler puppy, and last week was Shark Week. I don't know if you guys watched any of that. I happen to like Shark Week. It reminds me why I don't go near the friggin' ocean. The way the sharks are like, decide to feed on your leg, and oh, by the way, they like to attack in really shallow water and stuff, They don't really bother humans, but sometimes, when you're swimming, you kind of look like a seal, so, they want to eat. So, they chow down. And if you're in the area, well, yeah. In other words, don't be going in the water when the seals are there, and as cute and as friendly as they are. You don't know what's lurking around, air jaws, but anyway, my little puppy Rottweiler was watching Shark Week with me, and, he now thinks that he's a shark because I'm scarred up. I got scabs all over my hands and my arms. He jumps up at you and just grabs onto you with those razor-sharp puppy teeth, I don't know if you've ever had a puppy Rottweiler, but they got the sharpest teeth. I mean, literally, they can puncture your skin with it. And, then they just, as they're sliding off, because, their hind legs aren't exactly the strongest part of their bodies, and especially puppies, so they flobber around a little bit. And as they jump up and grab you, if they grab your shorts, and as they fall, there goes, and your shorts rip, right with their little mouth. A little shape of their mouth. What? They grab onto your arm. Ah, shoot! I got a cut on my arm. Who loves you, Namath? That's his name, Namath. But anyway, one more thing. I'm trying to get back to the fighters and the trainers and everybody that's looking to get the boxing equipment. Don't forget about Ringside, man. It's the best in boxing. Check them out. Ringside.com. And tell Murphy's got to go to deal with a family emergency. Murph, good luck, man. I hope everything works out. You got to do what you got to do, my man. Thanks for stopping in. But, gosh, I hope everything works out for Murph. When you guys need some equipment, check out ringside.com. Like I said, the best in boxing equipment. They have a new line. It's called the Heritage line. And it's classic stuff, man. Gloves and protective gear and some workout gear and like mitts and stuff like that. So check it out. www.ringside.com. And make sure you tell them Billy C sent you. And demand the Billy C discount. That's right. You got to demand it. Yeah. But anyway, I gave everybody my all-time top 22 list a little earlier, in case you missed it. Why 22 and not 10? Well, because it all started with Bernard Hopkins. And, I said that he was in my top 25, but not my top 10. I read it. I'll read it real quick right now, and I got chastised for one of the picks. But my top 22 are as follows: Sugar Ray Robinson, number 1. Number 2, Harry Greb. Number 3, Stanley Ketchel. Number 4, non-parallel Jack Dempsey. Number 5, Mickey Walker. Number 6, Carlos Monzon. Number 7, Bob Fitzsimmons. Number 8, Charlie Burley. Number 9, Jake LaMotta. Number 10, Marcel Cerdan. Number 11, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Number 12, Tony Zale. Number 13, Tiger Flowers. Number 14, Gene Fulmer. Number 15, Marvelous Marvin Hart. Number 16, Nino Benvenuti. Number 17, Tommy Ryan. Number 18, Dick Tiger. Number 19, I got Hurricane Carter. That's who I was chastised over, but I would easily replace Hurricane Carter with Ezra Charles. Number 9, that's number 19. Number 20 is Rocky Graziano. Number 21, Roy Jones Jr. And at number 22, the guy who started it all, B-Hop himself, Bernardo Hopkins. Or maybe if he was Italian, I'd like him a little more. Hey, Bernardo Hopkins.
Wake up. It's time for the...
It's too early for a trivia question.
And today's It's Too Early for a Trivia Question is being brought to us by Gleason's Gym. That's right. Gleason's Gym, located in Brooklyn, New York. Give them a call today, 718-797-2872. That's 718-797-2872. And make sure you tell them Billy C sent you. And you want the discount. And, hey, you know what? You get a discount for whatever you do. If you don't want to remember the number, just remember the website, www.billycboxing.com, and click the Gleason's banner. Now, yesterday's It's Too Early for a Trivia Question was, who was the first former junior welterweight champion to referee a junior welterweight world championship fight? And what's on the line was the Gilroy was here book, the life story of Burt Gilroy, as seen by some family members who wrote the book. And we have a winner. That's right. We have my man, Coach K, who's in the chat room right now. He is the winner of this book. 2 for 2 this week, this guy got. He's already, or maybe it was last week, but he's gotten 2 books. Congratulations, Coach. And I know Kaylee, my favorite girl, Kaylee, just told me that her book arrived. She won something last week, so congratulations to you guys. Now, what's on the line today is your very own copy of the Title Bout Championship computer game. This game costs about $40. It is a simulation game. It's not exactly known for super duper graphics or anything like that, but it's really cool because you could put guys like Hurricane Carter against Bernard Hopkins and simulate a fight between the two and let the computer run this fight 1,000 times, 100 times, whatever, and get the results. So it's a great game, and it's yours if you're the first one to get this question right. And it's probably not that hard when it comes to searches and stuff like that, but who was known as Blue Eyes? Who was known as Blue Eyes? If you know this answer, email me, Billy@TalkinBoxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. And if you're the first one, you will get a copy of the Title Bout Championship computer game. Who was known as Blue Eyes? Email me, Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com.
This day in boxing history.
And finally, this day in boxing history is being brought to us by Campanaro and Tomkovich. If you're looking for a lawyer, and I don't care what kind of lawyer you need, whether it's contractual law, maybe you're drawing up a contract, maybe somebody else did, maybe it's real estate law, maybe it's matrimonial, maybe it's just, maybe it's criminal, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever your law needs are, you need to call Campanaro and Tomkovich. Give them a call today, 845-221-4099. And, you might want to do something where you need a lawyer just to go into the office and check out all the hot chicks in that office. 845-221-4099. Campanaro and Tomkovich. Let them knock out your legal problem. Oh, I should say it right. That's why I get paid the big bucks, right? let Campanera and Tomkovich knock out your legal problem. 845-221-4099. On this day, August 21st, in 1985, Lonnie Smith knocks out Billy Costello in the 8th round to win the WBC World Junior Welterweight title, and that took place on this day, August 21st, in 1985, in New York City. You guys all know that Billy Costello was a very good friend of mine. I miss him a lot. I thought he was a great champion. This was a fight that he talked about a lot, and said he just wasn't ready that day, and ultimately he got knocked out. My girl Kaylee won the book on Billy Costello. It's called Black Lights, and it's written by Thomas Hauser. I wish Thomas Hauser would write something else about the New York State Athletic Commission, because they need a guy like Thomas Hauser to expose the shenanigans that goes on. But anyway, this day on August 21st, my man Billy Costello comes up on the losing end in a fight, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Billy Costello, wherever you may be. I'm thinking about you, my man. But I do have one more thing to say. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. There's only one channel, man. It's called the Fight Now channel. Call your local television provider and tell them you want the Fight Now channel added to your sports channel lineup. It's that simple. Pick up the phone and call. For all the information about the channel, you can find it on their website, www.fightnow.com. See you all tomorrow. Ciao, baby.